you go to? I teach Taekwondo.
Hi, hello. How are you? My name is Suchi and welcome back to my channel where I talk about the stories that I love and that inspire me. It's October now, and in honor of fall and spooky season being in full swing, I must take this time now to break my silence. You know, as a zillennial, I feel that my generation specifically was blessed with some of the best content to ever grace the modern age. Growing up in the 2000s was certainly an experience, especially when it came to the richness of the books and TV shows and movies that were released in this era, I guess. And 2005 in particular was a hell of a year for movies, in my opinion. We got the iconic Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, the year when the entire cast skipped going to the hair salon for their annual trim. We got absolute masterpieces like Joe Wright's Pride and Prejudice. We got Corpse Bride, we got Revenge of the Sith, we got Narnia. But out of all of these frankly incredible movies, more or less, there are only a few that I absolutely make sure to rewatch every single year. Like if a whole year has gone by and I haven't pressed play on any one of these films, I've basically died. I'm dead. I've left with a one-way ticket out of this plane of existence. One of these movies is Pride and Prejudice, because of course it is. She is that girl. She's always going to be the blueprint of peak romance in film. And the other is Disney Channel original movie Twitches, and Twitches 2. Should I say it? Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Twitches and Twitches 2 is Disney Channel's crowning achievement. It's the magnum opus of their Halloween productions. Some people say Disney's best Halloween movies are the Halloween Towns and Hocus Pocus, but they're wrong. It's Twitches. Now, the Halloween Town movies are good, or at least the first two are. Halloween Town High was meh at best, and Return to Halloween Town was very bad. And its only saving grace is that Lucas Grabeel is in it. And while Hocus Pocus is iconic and the face of Disney's many Halloween offerings, she just isn't that girl for me the way Twitches is. Sorry.
You say something so controversial yet so brave.
There's just something about the Twitches movies that the others simply do not have. A certain je ne sais quoi, if you will. For a long time, I didn't know exactly why I loved the Twitches movies so much, but I recently sat down and rewatched the movies once again, as I do every October, and yeah, I think I do know now, and I'm gonna make sure all of you know it too. The Twitches movies are cinema, but they're also not objectively very good. But does a film have to be good in order to be loved? No. You know when something is so bad that it's good? Like when a story lacks any believable plot or clear world building and completely ignores any semblance of logic whatsoever, but somehow you find yourself enjoying the shit out of it regardless. A few examples come to mind when I think about this. The Mummy, for instance, or Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Do not come after me on this. Fourth Wing is absolutely one of those no plot, just vibes, not really that good, yet also incredible books. That's a video for another day, though. So the Twitches films are not good in the traditional sense. A snooty film critic would absolutely give it a 28% score on Rotten Tomatoes, but none of that matters because it gets 110% from me. Twitches was based off a book series of the same name, and it follows twin sisters Alex and Cameron, played by Tia and Tamara Mowry. But they don't know that they are sisters at first. What they also don't know is that they are not from this dimension. MCU found dead in a ditch, everyone. This is my multiverse of madness. We're told at the beginning that the twins are born on Halloween in a magical otherworld called Coventry to Queen Miranda and King Aaron. Coventry is currently in a war with an evil entity called the Darkness, which swallows everything in its path like a black hole. And Coventry is losing, badly. The twins' father sacrifices himself to save his daughters and gives them all his power before he too is taken by the darkness. For their safety, the twin princesses are taken by their father's loyal servants, Karsh and Ileana, and are hidden away in another dimension, which happens to be our world. They are separated shortly after and are raised apart by different people. The years go by, and on their 21st birthday, it is decided that Alex and Cameron are ready to be reunited. We're never told what the significance of their 21st birthday is, by the way. It's like Karsh and Ileana just woke up that day and were like, yeah, let's reunite them. Cameron was adopted by a rich couple and was raised basically as the princess that she really is, while Alex was raised by her working-class single mother who has since passed away, leaving her with no money and no other family.
I wanted to apply for a job.
Well, it looks like you're gonna need one.
So she's crashing at her best friend's until she can find a way to get back on her feet. Cameron was born with a sun amulet and has a sunny disposition to match. Alex has the moon amulet and is definitely the moodier of the two. Grumpy sunshine trope alive and well in the Twitches saga. Look, Twitches may not be good, but it deserves an Oscar because at its core, it's a story of two sisters finding each other and becoming each other's family despite having lived very different lives. Their opposing personalities are really fun to watch when they are finally reunited because they really do play off each other. We see Cameron wake up on her 21st birthday feeling excited because she has a feeling that something amazing is going to happen to her.
It's just, I'm 21. I keep feeling like something special is supposed to happen.
Because she's had a lifetime of privilege and happiness, and her loving parents have just brought her a whole ass cake bright and early in the morning. This is one of two cakes that Cameron gets on her birthday, by the way. The other is a giant cake because
The caterers are coming at 12, and you've got 100 guests coming at 8 o'clock for your Halloween birthday ball.
God, I wish that were me. I don't even know 100 people, but I would love 2 cakes on my birthday. We also see Alex wake up that morning, but unlike her sister, she has a feeling something horrible is going to happen.
Seriously, what is your problem?
I don't know. Ever since I woke up this morning, I just feel like something horrible is gonna happen.
Instead of a Halloween birthday bash with a bajillion guests, she's spending her day looking for a job. The people's princess, truly. And we can see why she'd have a premonition and immediately assume the worst. She's just lost her mom and sleeps on a couch that isn't her own and has to take the bus instead of driving around a Porsche. So when they do reunite, Alex is very guarded and closed off, while Cameron is bubbly and open and happy that Alex is indeed her sister. Because Alex is the one thing that she's been missing her whole life, even though she had everything a girl could want. Which I think is just very cute and adorable. So the movie is mostly about the two sisters reconnecting and returning to the land of their birth, while also trying to defeat the darkness, which is still around and is still terrorizing Coventry. I love Twitches for 2 main reasons. The first is that it's actually comedy disguised as an epic fantasy fairy tale on the lowest budget possible, by the way. Another reason I love it. I'll get into this later. And the second is its unfettered charm. I'll dive into the comedy aspect first. These movies are so unhinged. The first movie opens with the twins protectors, Karsh and Ileana, working to reunite the sisters after 21 years. But they're also trying to introduce themselves at the same time, and they're just doing it in the most awkward way possible. They both just appear out of nowhere in front of the twins and just proceed to thoroughly weird them out. Like, if this guy kept following me around and saying the strangest shit, I would have called the police. But clearly the twins are made of stronger stuff.
It's extraordinary. You definitely are someone who has the powers to...
Hi, Mom.
I guess 21 years spent hiding from people would give you truly lamentable social skills. On brand. So, as I said earlier, Cameron wakes up that morning convinced that something life-changing is going to happen to her, and she's on the lookout. Nothing will escape her notice today. Cameron just says she'll be super aware of her surroundings, but then walks past her actual sister on multiple occasions. Like I said, comedy gold. But then, despite all the moments just missing each other, they finally meet, and it's incredible. After all these missed connections, the sun and the moon finally eclipse each other in a clothing store fitting room. I love their clashing personalities. Cameron is so stubbornly cheerful, and Alex is just a ball of biting sarcasm.
Right, I got a twin.
It's so cool. I want a long-lost twin.
Well, you better hurry, because there's only a few of us left.
Sun and moon energy indeed. I will point out that Karsh and Ileana have a similar dynamic, in that Karsh is always annoyed as hell about something. Meanwhile, Ileana is just out there vibing, just eating food all the time. She's just like me, for real.
Oh, well, they'll get better. This pasta's amazing.
I thought that was a cute detail, though. The fact that Karsh is Alex's protector and Ileana was Cameron's, and they have the personalities to match. I also love that no one seems to have any brain cells in the first movie. For example, the twins' mother, Miranda, has been alive this whole time and has been protecting Coventry from being destroyed by the darkness. However, she's been unsuccessful at fully keeping the darkness at bay, and it's been draining her of her power. Meanwhile, her husband's brother Thantos, who is totally not suspicious at all, by the way, has been helping her fight.
Even though I have never laid eyes on your daughters, I already love them as if they were my own.
He absolutely isn't sus. Not in any way. Thanos has been getting stronger ever since. Truly a mystery as to why. Look at him though. The original baddie. Thanos walked so MCU Thanos could run. Miranda feels the exact moment her daughters are reunited and is elated to find out that they are in fact still alive. Unfortunately, who does she immediately go to bring them back home to her? Thanos. And only after that does the darkness suddenly appear in our world and goes after the twins.
Coincidence? I think not!
The twins quickly realize that there's a lot more to their story than just finding each other. Weird things start happening whenever they touch hands, and they find out they have magical powers, which, given the strange experiences they'd had growing up, the puzzle pieces start coming together. Cameron would have visions and then draw what she'd see in them. Alex's mind would be swimming with these strange stories of a mysterious magical land and beautiful mother with powers, and she'd write them down in her journals. And then they quickly find out that the things they had written or drawn, everything they had assumed to be fantasy and make-believe, are all real. When Alex sees Cameron's drawings, they inexplicably tug at something in her consciousness. They seem familiar to her even though it's the first time she's looking at them.
I feel like I know her. Me too.
I love that despite having a $20 million budget, in 2005 no less, the most we get to see of Coventry in this magical world the twins come from are these pencil drawings. The CGI is honestly terrible, even for the mid-2000s, but those drawings? Amazing. What a way to world build without breaking the filmmaking bank. I want Cameron's room, by the way. That's the dream. As a kid living in a small townhouse and sharing an equally tiny room with my sister, I adored the shit out of this bedroom. It has so much space and one very large closet in particular. Cameron's looking for more drawings to show Alex and tells her to look in her other walk-in closet. But they both end up getting more than what they bargained for when Alex opens the door. So they can open portals to Coventry now. And this is when everything becomes a little too real for the girlies. Karsten and Ileana appear and fill them in on what has happened the night they were born, why they were raised in another world, and what happened to their parents. They find out that their father is gone, but their mother Miranda is still alive. This makes the twins happy, but it also sets Alex on edge because this means that the darkness is real, and that she and Cameron will be expected to fight it. I like that nothing is explained to the audience beyond the fact that only the twins have the power to stop the darkness. But none of that matters because the point is about two girlies conquering their fears and realizing that the way to defeat darkness isn't just light. Say what you will about the awful CGI and pitiful attempt at world building or the extremely questionable wardrobe choices made here. Side note, can we please talk about the clothing in these films for a second? Can someone please explain what's going on with this dress combination? The orange sequins with the bright teal combo? Or the fact that it's $600?
$600? For this?
Or why Alex looks like she's about to whip out a crystal ball and tell me my fortune. Actually, she does have the gift of knowing according to Twitch's canon, so maybe that look is on point. Also, why does Cameron always look low-key dressed for like a business meeting or something? Like, I'm pretty sure this is not how 21-year-olds in college dress. Or at least, I didn't dress like that. I still don't, clearly. I love the costuming in these films, by the way. The quality in the first movie is giving clearance rack section in Party City. Like, just look at this. Or this. Or this. It does get a little better in Twitches too, though. The material looks a tad more luxe. Probably because they got a $26 million budget instead of only $20 million. So yeah, the clothing confuses me to no end, but these films were made in the mid-2000s, so I'm not going to sit here and try to define Y2K fashion for you. Any attempt I make will fail simply because no one in that era had any clue what they were wearing whatsoever. Anyway, what was I even talking about before I got on this tangent? Anyway, right. Say what you will about the quality of the effects or the styling choices, or even the mysterious ruler of the darkness being painfully obvious. None of these things matter in the end, because a story is only as good as the way it makes you feel. And Twitches is cinema because its many flaws become the things that make it charming. Because despite everything, it's about a family coming together and realizing the true power that dispels all darkness. The relationships are so cute. We have Cameron's adoptive parents. I love her dad, by the way. An absolute king who never knows what's going on ever, but he really does try to be the best dad. Also, every word that comes out of his mouth is an absolute banger.
I swear one of these days I'm just gonna stick your head in the cake.
And her mom is the cool mom. Handles Cameron's earth-shattering revelations about her being from another world and having weird powers like a champ. Regina George's mom found dead in a ditch. Fun fact about the first film, by the way, Cameron's house is Regina George's house. They use the same exact property for Mean Girls. We love 2000s film continuity. So the darkness appears, scares the shit out of the twins, and this scares Cameron away from wanting anything to do with Coventry, leaving Alex wanting to go find their mother herself. But then Cameron's mother sees right through her fear of letting her newfound family and heritage in. And this is what gives Cam the courage she needs to stand by her sister and fight the darkness. And that's the secret in the end.
Love is infinite. You can always make more when you need it.
The thing that fuels the light is...
Love, Harry. Love.
Thanos is revealed for the slimy weasel he is, and we get this frankly iconic clapback.
Whatever, loser.
This right here, this is Disney Channel's peak. You cannot surpass this. They have not surpassed this. And after an intense, unexpectedly emotional battle, the darkness is destroyed.
Who do you love most in the whole world? My sister. My sister.
By the way, everyone that was taken by the darkness just comes back in the end, like nothing ever happened. But we do get this cute scene of everyone reuniting and Miranda meeting Cameron's parents, and that Karsh and Ileana are looking for someplace to finally settle down. They can't stay in the Earth dimension though, because it's too expensive, apparently. Girl, you worked every day for 21 years risking your life for literal princesses, and they don't even pay you enough for you to afford one house. Like, the math is not mathing here. After all that effort, they owe you so much in back pay that they should be giving you a whole estate. 20,000 square feet minimum. Also, Cameron's dad strikes again.
Well, you're about to find out how special she is.
It's just a nice way of saying she's a pain in
Gotcha.
We simply must stand. And that's where Twitches ends, with a family reunited and the evil defeated. Or was it? Because the saga doesn't stop there. 2007 arrived and gave us the thrilling sequel, Twitches 2. This film was honestly even more unhinged than the first. Let me explain. Cameron's house is no longer the Regina George house. Like, it's very clearly a different house with a different layout, yet somehow her room is exactly the same. Do we ever get an explanation for this? Nope. Not even like a throwaway line saying, oh, we moved. Because that would make far too much sense in a movie where you're honestly just here for a good time. You're not supposed to really use your brain too much when you watch these. Also, both the housekeeper and Ileana are played by different people in this one. Goodbye, OG housekeeper. Your spiky hair will be missed. And RIP to the first Ileana. You'll always be in my heart. Also, there's a couple points in this film where it's clear that the editing team just cared like a negative amount. Like this one where they didn't bother to crop the mic out of the scene. Or where you can clearly see like telephone wires outside behind the castle in Coventry. Fun fact, most of the Twitches movies were filmed in and around Toronto. And this estate/museum called Casa Loma stood in as the castle in both films. One day I'll get out there and live out my Princess of Coventry dreams. I will say, though, that the slightly higher budget does show through here on occasion. The costumes look a little less like they were found in a dumpster behind a Spirit Halloween. And a special shout out to these bedazzled spectacles. Nothing says 2007 louder than that. The CGI is definitely better this time around, and we get to see a lot more of Coventry and the castle, which is cool. Although the interior of the castle itself confuses me a little because some parts lean heavily into Hogwarts Gothic while others look straight out of a French chateau. She's a little indecisive, that's all. So Twitches 2 picks up not too long after the first movie ends. The twins are getting used to having magical powers and being princesses and traveling between Earth and Coventry. Although they could use some work in the interdimensional travel department. Not sure why you need a car in a magical land, but I digress.
Next time, I'll walk.
Alex has since graduated from sleeping on her friend's couch to having her own bed and living with Cameron and her parents. I think it's oddly sweet that Cam was willing to share her room with her sister, even though her house probably has a bunch of extra bedrooms. I guess it does help, though, that her room is the size of a small apartment. So Alex and Cameron live together and are getting used to each other, and Cameron's parents are paying for Alex to go to college. Honestly, like, wanting to go to college in this world when you're a literal princess in another world is wild to me. I would have pieced out of here ASAP if I was her. Which is basically what Cameron does when Karsh and Ileana show up to summon the twins back to Coventry. Alex chooses to stay behind so she can attend her first day of class.
Sorry, but I don't have time to play princess. It's not playing if you really are one.
Couldn't be me. The twins have been summoned back to Coventry because, surprise, surprise, Thantos didn't actually die in the first movie. I like that Miranda just senses some shadows around her and immediately is like, oh, Thantos is back. Like, she comes to that conclusion real quick. My girl really said, I spent 21 years in the dark. I'm not doing that again. So there's a solar eclipse coming, and that's apparently when Alex and Cameron will be at their most powerful. Since Miranda is too weak from years of Thantos draining her power, it's up to the twins to stop him once and for all. The eclipse will give the twins enough power to cast a vanquishing spell that can destroy everything in the world of the shadows, which is where Thantos is hiding and waiting for a chance to return to full strength. It's giving Voldy camping out in the forests of Albania while Harry gets the first 3 years of his wizarding education. What can I say? He wanted the boy who lived to also be the boy who did his homework. But Alex sees a problem with this plan because both she and Cameron have been seeing signs of their father Aaron actually being alive. That their father has been alive this whole time, clinging to life in the shadows. So doing the spell wouldn't just destroy their evil uncle, it would also destroy their father too. Miranda loves and misses her husband, but she also has a kingdom to protect and still pushes the twins to go through with doing the spell. This ends up being the main point of tension for this newly reunited family. The moral dilemma of choosing to sacrifice one so that many can live. What is the worth of one against millions? Honestly, really deep existential stuff for a Disney Channel film. That's cinema for you. What's the answer to this question? Well, it's to try to save both. The vanquishing spell ends up being cast, but Alex is tricked by Thantos into giving him her power by making her think she's helping her dad. And he's back. But she hadn't been wrong about Aaron after all. He'd been with them the whole time, just as she'd written in her stories. What follows is another incredible battle scene in which Karsh and Ileana are comically useless, even though they're supposed to be powerful wizards, and where Thantos is just incredibly annoying.
Such a shame when children get in the middle of family squabbles.
And what follows during the battle scene is whatever is going on here. It is honestly painful to watch this scene, even if one of your brain cells is active. But as I said before, that's not the point of these films. You have to take off your thinking cap before pressing play. And once again, the power of love strikes true. The whole family is together again at last, and by being together, they have everything they need to destroy Thantos for good. Miranda and the twins combine all their power to save Aaron from dying, and he becomes a human once again. Also, Thantos dies for good this time. Good riddance. And that's it. Love saves the day once again. For the first time in 21 years, Alex and Cameron are finally reunited with both their birth parents. And honestly, sitting through that truly cringe battle sequence was worth it, because this scene warms my ice-cold heart every single time I watch it. And in a weird twist for Disney storytelling at least, we get protagonists that started off without their real family and end up with not one, but 2 whole sets of parents. Well, 3 if you count Karsh and Ileana.
Oh, yes.
You were my favorite.
Aww.
Those 2 get married at the end of the film, by the way. They invited Cameron's adoptive parents and even the twins as friends from Earth. So even the Muggles got to go to Hogwarts.
What is there to be freaked out about? I'm just jealous she has this much space in the back of her closet.
It truly is the closet of dreams. And true to classic Disney storytelling fashion, they all lived happily ever after in the end. All in all, the Twitches films gave us everything we could ever want. Magic lands, princesses, terrible CGI, very baffling 2000s attire, twin shenanigans, and above all, the enduring power of familial love. What more could you ask for?
Handsome
You look great. Oh, you know you love it. Yeah, you're right. I
kind of love it.
Guys, thank you so much for watching me profess my undying love for these silly little movies. They're just so much fun, and now you all know what I've spent an embarrassing amount of time watching every single October since I was a kid. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know what your thoughts on the Twitches films are down below. And if you don't like them, that's a you problem. Take care, guys. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.